All right, what's up, everyone? We're back in another video of Loners. Thank you guys for coming back. Linda and I have been having a really good team meeting right now about where we're gonna take this project in the coming months and years, and we're proud to have y'all here.
I guess I was not a part of that meeting.
All right, episode number 117. Roll that intro. All right, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining in. If you haven't yet, please go follow, like, and subscribe on our vlog channel. We appreciate it.
We're trying to get to 1,000, and this is probably the 1,000th time I've said this. Please go follow our vlog channel.
We're gonna keep saying it. We're gonna keep saying it, and then once we get to 1,000, we're gonna say we're trying to get to 2,000, and then once we get to 2,000, we're gonna keep saying it.
In the description, the link to find that channel is in the description of this channel.
First link.
Okay. Also, if anyone has any why can't I fucking talk? If anyone has any request for vlog ideas, they don't have to be a vlog. They can literally be like a concept video. Email us at the email.
It's do it for the blog channel. It's,
either or.
Yeah,
it
either
really
one,
doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So today we're gonna do a video called "Living in Europe as an American."
The reality.
The reality. It's by that guy Dave in Portugal that we did the other day. All right. Let's see.
This is some guy named Dave in Portugal, and I moved from the United States to Europe, and now my life is just perfect. Here's a reel of me doing some fancy European shh.
Wait, how do I, wait, just, 1 second here,
All right.
I did see a lot of penis.
what is going on here?
Go home, you stupid American. Moving to Europe is
what I
like
was waiting
taking
for.
the red pill in the Matrix. Am I really loud and unaware of my surroundings? LFG, let's fucking go! Woo! Do I get way too drunk and act like a frat bro? No, football. Ever heard of it? I live in the best country in the world, right? We have culture. I mean, we have hamburgers and stuff. So moving to Europe as an American wasn't exactly as I expected, but that's part of the journey, right? I mean, I wouldn't move all the way across the Atlantic to experience what I already had in the United States. First off, I want to say that I made this video for fun. I've had the privilege to travel a lot of places in the world, and there are definitely some funny similarities and different things that I hear people say, and I'd like to share some of those experiences in this video. None of these are meant to be offensive or mean-spirited towards Europe or the United States. It's just simply what I have observed as an American abroad in Europe. If you disagree with some of the stuff I say in this video, feel free to share your opinion in the comments below.
I thought he was gonna say, feel free to shut the fuck up.
Literally, there is a thing called Paris syndrome. This is a sense of extreme disappointment that
yeah, once you see the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I think we've talked about this. We didn't say those exact words, but we've kind of talked about this. Like, we're gonna think that.
No, I've actually heard of Paris syndrome.
So speaking about Paris, guys, there is a bed bug infestation all over Paris. It's taking over the subways. It's taking over the stores. It's like everywhere.
Okay, I heard that on social media, but then I also saw a bunch of people in the comments saying, I live in Paris and I haven't even heard of this.
Obviously, there's still going to be people
Maybe
who
it's just on the
it doesn't
rise.
affect them. But this travel guy that I watched, he was in Paris and he was showing like he was getting bit everywhere.
Fuck bed bugs.
Yeah, we dealt with them before and they're horrible.
One of our apartments, Brian brought. We think this is what happened. He brought a piece of what?
I
the
brought
fuck,
a painting
like
in from the trash room.
It was ugly too. It
No,
wasn't even like. It wasn't even worth it.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Anyway, this. When I tell you, this like ruined our relationship for a solid period of time.
It was bad. But all right, let's continue. Let's not go back there.
Horrible.
people had when they first visit Paris for the first time. They feel like the city was nothing of what they had expected. The condition is commonly viewed as a severe form of culture shock. But is it really culture shock at all? Now, I know there's this never-ending feud between French people and Americans, and I don't want to fuel that fire. But it just drives me crazy that Americans tend to over-romanticize places like Paris and Rome.
Yeah,
in my
that's true.
opinion, cities like Paris and Rome are my least favorite places to travel to. These places, in my opinion, are so overrated and expensive for what you get. If you wanted to have an authentic European experience, I can name 10 cities that I'd rather go to than Paris or Rome. But Americans just keep coming back to Paris and Rome over and over and over again. This creates
Because we watch too many movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are the places they highlight.
Yeah.
For the record, I don't think I've ever genuinely wanted to go to Paris.
I don't know.
Ever.
I want to go to the other parts of France. I don't
Me
know if I
too.
want to go to Paris.
I want to go to southern France.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my opinion, Rome was sick. Like, I liked Rome.
Rome was cool. Sorrento was the best, I think.
But yeah, other parts of Italy were nicer too.
It's an opportunity for many locals and people to take advantage of the American tourists. A lot of restaurants will charge you this ridiculous gratuity fee at the end of the dinner that is upwards of 25%. Because Americans are used to tipping culture, right? So it should be normal. But this is a common sham that happens in Paris, especially near the popular landmarks. Now, if you're into things like standing in lines forever for gaudy museums, getting treated terrible at restaurants and cafes, and being in a major city which has the highest crime rate in all of Europe, then Paris might be your spot. Paris.
Anybody will watch those videos where the lady's like, pickpocket, pickpocket. Like, she'll like shame people that she catches pickpocketing. I haven't seen one in a minute.
No.
They're pretty entertaining. You guys should look that up.
Is just not for me. I'm not into that style of fashion and waiting 2 hours to see the Mona Lisa for like 20 seconds. If you really want to experience authentic French culture, just go outside of Paris. There are many beautiful cities all through France that are so much more incredible, in my opinion, than Paris. I don't mean any disrespect towards the people of France, but many of my French friends even hate Paris as well.
I've heard that too.
Okay, so let's give Europe a break and put America in the hot seat. After living in Europe for 2 years, when I see Americans, sometimes I can't help but feel cringe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who is this American guy who has the authority to say what's cringe about other Americans? He's just an American. Well, maybe some Europeans feel the same way about me. But let me point out some of the things I commonly see. I was out to dinner in Lisbon, Portugal, where I live, and there was an American couple sitting next to me. They were speaking very loudly and saying things like, "That's not the way we do it in America," and "I asked for a coffee, not an espresso."
Oh, God.
Then at the end of the dinner, when they were ready for the bill, they said to the lady, "We're all set." The lady looked confused and asked if they wanted anything else. And they repeated again, "Nope, we're all set." This happened probably 3 times, and the American couple started getting...
I apologize on behalf of this couple. That would annoy the fuck out of me too.
Is it because it's like rude to say that?
It just comes off as like there's no connection. There's like lack of like humanity. You're like, no, we're good. Like, you know what I mean?
I know some people are like that. Like when I was a waiter, there was people like that, and I'm like, oh, okay.
But we don't do things like that. No.
That's annoying. Yeah, that's
annoying.
annoying.
Literally, I would lose my fucking shit if somebody said that to me.
Yeah.
Even here.
Upset because they were not bringing the check. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, how do you come to a new country where English is not their first language and think that the words "we're all set" means I'm ready to pay? How about
that's true.
"we're ready to pay now"? Or "can I have the check, please"? I just love how in America, these are the same types of people that criticize people and say, we speak English here in America, but when they visit other countries, they expect them to speak English as well. And this is the type of ignorance in America that just baffles me. Like the United States is the center of the universe and nowhere else exists. Then you have the apologetic, overcompensating simp. These characters think they are the gatekeepers for Americans that come to visit Europe. You can commonly find them in the expat Facebook groups, policing and shaming people for not knowing as much about Europe as they do. You see this a lot in Europe, especially with the digital nomad boom, and it absolutely drives me crazy. Like, how hard is it just to respect the people around you and welcome new people in a nice and welcoming way? Now, I think that Europeans and Americans are guilty of mass generalizations about each other. I think that a lot of Europeans think that Americans just eat cheeseburgers every day, we all want to be billionaires, and we think we live in the best country in the world. Now, there is certainly some truth to that. However, there is more people I know that are the exact opposite. I know a lot of people who criticize the United States of America, don't eat cheeseburgers every day, and are content with what they have and don't want to become some millionaire. And then you have Americans that think that all Europeans are communists, don't use deodorant, and
there are,
vacation more than they work. However, I know Europeans who are very conservative and like Donald Trump. I also know many Europeans that are overworked and work very hard. So you can't fit everyone into a box and the general stereotypes. And I think that even though we have the...
I feel like everyone should just naturally know that, but...
I mean, we live in a world of stereotypes. It is what it is. Like...
Yeah, but you should know that you can't just fit everyone into a box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like... Logically speaking, yes, but like I think subconsciously most of us just let that kind of...
It's easier to label stuff. We want to have stuff like labeled.
It's almost like a sense of control when you feel like you know what you really don't know.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like I said, we watch a lot of movies here in America, and there's a lot of stereotypes in movies.
Yeah, there is.
Internet today, there is this game of telephone going on between Europe and the United States because you don't really know what it's like to be in either country until you actually go there. One of the things that I've been criticized for here in Europe is getting excited and loud about things in a restaurant or at a bar. But when an Italian person or a Portuguese person or a French person gets very loud, they say, oh, he's just Italian or he's just French. And I realize that there's really...
Honestly, this is so fucking true. I'm glad he's bringing this up because yes, we have a lot of obnoxious ass people here, especially during like sports games, things like that. But even when we went to Spain, the first night we ate there was like a table next to us. You can tell they were from Spain. And they were being funny. Like it wasn't obnoxious or rude. But they were being extremely loud. They were getting up, like acting crazy. Like they were acting pretty wild.
One of them was in a diaper.
I think he like lost a bet or something.
Yeah.
Which to us was entertaining.
It's funny, yeah.
I thought it was funny. But I get what he's saying. There is like a double standard because people in America are known for being like obnoxious, loud, versus just being full of life.
Yeah.
And some people really are obnoxious, and some people are just like excited.
It's true.
Is that there's really no merit to this, and it doesn't hold much water, as I've heard these cultures get super loud. And if you've ever been to any bar district in Europe and heard an English rugby team shouting their chants, you know that they are the parallel to the American frat boys.
They're the blueprint.
Yeah.
So this is one of the biggest ones that I always hear in Europe about Americans, and that is that Americans have no culture. And it may be different cultures bringing their culture into the United States.
Yeah, I think,
but that's what the United States is, kind of a melting pot of all these cultures. And I think one of the coolest things about the United States is how diverse these cities are. There are no cities that are as diverse as New York City. But in Europe, because the culture is so old, there is something about the age-old traditions that are so cool. The castles everywhere, and just the old traditions of all the people are very, very palpable in Europe, and that feeling is just so cool to me. So as far as I'm concerned, if Europe was a part of the United States, it would have already been canceled. Like anyone who is from Europe watching this is probably laughing right now. This is one of the things that gets brought up in conversation so much while I'm here in Europe. So many Europeans ask me about this American cancel culture. And it is true that there are many things that I see and hear here in Europe that would not fly in the current climate of the United States.
Absolutely.
We noticed that when we were in Australia.
Even Australia, some of the stuff that were coming out of their mouths.
But they weren't saying it to be like hateful. It was just funny. Like you could tell that they just don't have a filter as much.
I don't know what it was, to be honest. I just personally living in America, I've noticed a huge difference from when I was a kid and hearing how like my parents' generation speak versus how everything now they want everyone to censor every thought you have. You have to like think twice. Oh shit, should I have said that?
Yeah.
Or did it sound like I meant this when really I meant that? And like there's some phrases you can't even say without somebody automatically trying to manipulate it into you really meaning this.
Yeah.
Or saying that.
Even if you really didn't. But
yeah, everyone's offended. Not, I hate to say it. I notice it with Gen Z mainly. Not to sound like a boomer, but I've noticed like the younger generations especially are like, they will find anything to be offended by. Or if a celebrity did something 16 to 20 years ago, they want to cancel them now. And it's like, please. Like, we're all human. So I'm curious to see if like cancel culture is a thing in other parts of the world.
Probably is, but just not even half as much as it is here.
There's a difference between like holding people accountable or like calling people's bullshit out versus like trying to cancel somebody for just like being a human. Like it's, I don't know, it's a little weird.
Yeah. Drop in the comments what your opinion is on that.
I think that the United States prides themselves on moving forward technologically, maybe even too fast sometimes with places like Silicon Valley and the AI stuff that's currently going on. But in Europe, bureaucracy can be complicated to say the least. For instance, Germany is one of the more progressive nations when it comes to lowering greenhouse gas emissions. But they are a country where literally everything is done on paper. Stacks and stacks and stacks of paper. I mean, you care about the greenhouse gases, but you don't care about the trees? And living here in Portugal, sometimes the bureaucracy feels like it's interpreted from person to person. One person will tell you one thing is done like this, and another person will tell you something completely different. It can be extremely frustrating. Now, I know the process for immigrants in the United States is a very long and strenuous and difficult process. But most people don't think about the other side. Did you know that just holding a passport in the United States subjects you to be taxed anywhere in the world? In fact, the United States is one of the only countries in the world that has this foreign tax policy. And the only way to not pay Uncle Sam is to renounce your US citizenship, which costs a whopping $2,350.
Shit.
And you can never get it back. So Uncle Sam always gets his cut.
Shit, I didn't know
now,
that.
all of these are just opinions on how I see the world. I have been privileged enough to be able to travel to so many amazing places, and I'm thankful to be able to share some of those experiences.
Sorry, that's like hostage, in my opinion.
Wait, I thought that you guys had to pay taxes in other countries too if you were staying there for a bit and stuff like that, but I guess not.
What are you talking about?
Like, it's only if you have a American passport, and then if you go stay in other places, if you make money in those other places, you have to still pay the tax over
to America.
Here. I thought every country did that. I guess not.
I don't know. I know there's a handful of countries where if you live outside of your country, you have to pay them. Too. Yeah.
Shit.
Which is fucking stupid. I didn't know you couldn't get your citizenship back.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
If you were to give it up, that's such a toxic relationship. Like, you can't come back, so you better fucking make sure it's worth it. You know? It's it just sounds fucking weird.
With you. As the late Anthony Bourdain said, if I am an advocate for anything, it's to move. As far as you can, as much as you can. Across the ocean or simply across the river. The extent to which you can walk in someone else's shoes or at least eat their food is a plus for everyone. Open your mind, get off your couch, move. If you want to see more content about Europe or Portugal,
and pay those taxes while you do it.
I'll be posting videos just like this every week on this channel. This is some guy named Dave in Portugal, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Dave.
Cool. I like his videos. He's chill.
Yeah, me too. I like his approach.
He's very down to earth when he talks. It sounds like you're actually having a conversation with him.
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting. I do want to go visit Portugal because I hear really good things about it.
I want to visit everywhere.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes. But yeah, that was a cool video, guys. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Okay, we appreciate it. And also, don't forget to jump over to our vlog channel. Get us to 1,000. Let's do it.
Thank you.